CTV News with Angela Mackenzie.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The puck drops in minutes. Game 7 between the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning is about to get underway. Fans have packed into the Bell Centre for an away game. And Kelly, it's a chance to get the Bell Centre experience even if the team is on the road.
That's right, Angela. Talk about atmosphere. The pregame show is now underway and fans are loud. Now this is, as you mentioned, an away game. 21,000 people packing in the Bell Centre to watch a game that's not even being played here. Now these tickets went on sale Saturday morning at 10 in the morning, and within an hour they were completely sold out at $12 a piece, with the money going to support the Montreal Canadiens Alumni Association. Consider these the second best seats in the house if you can't fly down to Tampa Bay today. Obviously, this is a lot more inexpensive than the real playoff tickets. Some fans said it's a great opportunity to experience it in a big game with the real Bell Centre atmosphere.
It's really nice. It's a nice family experience as well, so we're all big fans. We're really happy to be here tonight, and hopefully we get a win.
We saw the tickets, saw the price was $12. It was a no-brainer.
Can a normal playoff ticket, would you be able to swing that? A bit more expensive?
Yeah, a bit more thinking behind that one.
Yeah.
Not sure if we could do that on the spot. We'd have to think about it.
My wife woke me up at 7 o'clock in the morning and she's like, get in the queue, we're buying these tickets.
Nice.
So we got them right away. We had all our friends signed up, ready to go, and we got whatever we could for family and everything.
Speaking of getting up early, Game 6 is a little earlier tonight. Puck drop at about 6:08 instead of 7 p.m. Now the series is tied 3-3, and that's combined with some longer travel after Game 6 because of storms in the Tampa Bay area. The team was rerouted through Fort Lauderdale and only got to their hotel around 11:15 last night. Now, as for this young team, it might have been a sleepless one. Only a handful of players have Game 7 playoff experience. Josh Anderson and Brendan Gallagher spoke to reporters this morning.
Obviously, very important, must-win game. So, I feel like we've played 6 of them already. So, I think that our team's ready for it and excited for it too.
Nerves are normal. Being overexcited is normal. You just got to trust yourself and trust your teammates. This is a time where you got to rely on each other and be accountable and do your job. That's all you need to do. Show up, do your job, and we feel that we have what it takes to get the job done.
Brendan Gallagher is in tonight. Noah Dobson, a game-time decision. He did dress for warm-ups, and it's the best of 7 that's now been reduced down to a winner-take-all one game. Talk about ambiance here at the Bell Centre. We'll be live with you at 11:30 with all the highlights from the game and here inside the Bell Centre. Angela?
All right, have fun, Kelly. That's Kelly Gregg live at the Bell Centre. Well, hundreds gathered at Angringong Park for the annual Walk So Kids Can Talk fundraiser. The event supports the Kids Help Phone Foundation and Youth Mental Health in Canada. The organization says it was contacted nearly 4 million times last year, and suicide-related interactions were up 43% in children under 13. The event raised a total of $3.9 million this year.
It is really tough being a young person, as I'm sure most adults, I definitely can recall having troubles when I was younger that I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents or even my friends about. So having a totally safe, anonymous, non-judgmental space to get support, to just say what you're feeling out loud, truly can make a massive difference. I would encourage anyone with young people they care about in their lives to do 2 things. One, to start talking openly and honestly about mental health themselves and make it clear to those young people that this isn't a taboo topic.
Kids and teens can access free and confidential support anytime at kidshelpphone.ca. Well, people living in Lachine are fighting to keep a pool project alive. It was ready to go before residents say the new administration pulled the plug. Sweeta Rassi has more.
At René Lévesque Park in Lachine, Valérie Léger is standing near the water, holding on to an environmental authorization permit issued by the province. She says the city won't use.
It makes me feel like so deceived, like so sad about it.
The plan was years in the making, a designated swim zone on Lac St. Louis, enclosed by 4 docks with accessible washrooms and lifeguards on duty. It was launched by the previous administration, and in January, Quebec's Ministry of Environment officially signed off, clearing the way for construction to begin. But when the borough's new administration took office, residents say the project was abandoned.
They are telling us that it's for financial reasons, that they want to have a sports complex instead. They want to put all their energies on it.
Léger says it would cost $500,000 to build a swimming area. The new sports complex costs millions. She argues these are two completely different projects that serve different needs. Richard Cabana is a longtime Lachine resident and member of the local rowing club. He says while people do swim here during the summer, it can be dangerous.
The current is extremely strong. If you're not familiar with the area or if you're too young, the current can take you away very quickly.
Léger says it was never just about swimming. It was about giving everyone access.
Their chalet is here. This is their opportunity to access nature.
There's also a deadline looming. The permit expires in 2 years, meaning the city's last chance to build the pool would be next summer. And right now, there's no sign that they will. Residents launched a Facebook page calling to save the project. So far, it has more than 1,000 members.
And I think it's a movement that will not go away.
We reached out to the borough of Lachine on Sunday. The mayor was not available to comment. Sweeterassi, CTV News, Lachine.
A 27-year-old pedestrian was critically injured early this morning when he was hit by a car in Montreal North just before 1 a.m. Police say he was struck as he was getting out of his car after parking it on Léger Boulevard near L'Angelier. Police found him on the ground unconscious. He was rushed to hospital and is now out of danger. The 20-year-old female driver was treated for shock. Police say speed, distraction, or intoxication were not factors in the collision. Well, Gatineau police say a 21-year-old man is facing charges in connection with a murder at a strip club in Gatineau. Bradley Gerard is facing a charge of second-degree murder. Gatineau police and the Sûreté du Québec collaborated to make Gerard's arrest Saturday in the Laurentian town of Nomening. 39-year-old Justine Larch was shot and pronounced dead at a strip club on Main Street on April 23rd. Her death marks the city's first homicide of the year. Well, more than 1 in 10 Canadians are still living in poverty, and that's according to the latest data from Statistics Canada. It says 11% of Canadians were living below the poverty line in 2024, and there's been little change since 2023. The number is also up from 7% in 2020, which has community organizers like Suzanne Scarrow concerned.
It's not just the numbers, it's who's coming in. So we're seeing working families and first-time visitors who simply can't keep up with the rising cost of living. You know, if you happen to go to the gas pump this weekend, you would have seen a split between about $1.85 all the way up to $2.03. Like, it just doesn't make sense. This isn't just about food, it's about stress, dignity, and people trying to hold things together. So the statistics are scary.
Scarrow adds lasting solutions will require more government intervention. Well, with growing numbers of people struggling financially, Montreal's shelters and missions are also under pressure to feed people. And that's where a group of women in Westmount come in. Caroline Van Vlaardingen reports.
Every Monday morning, they're up with the birds.
Good morning, ladies. How are you all? Good morning.
A dozen or so women armed with gloves and hairnets, a bit of time, and senses of humor.
Well, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night with my hot cakes.
Put them together, and you have the Ladies of Sandwich.
And it's lots of fun. You can see that we all have a great time together.
A great time catching up while making sandwiches. Hundreds of them.
Ding, 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 300.
All to spread nourishment and compassion to those struggling.
Ding, 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 310.
And, you know, we are imagining there's men, women, and maybe even children. And it might be their only meal of the day.
Depending on the week, it could be peanut butter and jelly.
It's comforting, I think. You know, everybody knows peanut butter and jam from childhood and all through their life.
Or egg salad.
We're basically self-sufficient. So, and if we're short of money, we find ways of getting donations.
But no matter what, there's always a layer of something else.
When you walk into this space, you're just met with this motherly love. You know, no matter who you are, where you're coming from, what's going on.
It's just satisfying because you're helping people. Yeah, and you know, the world needs help these days. A lot of help.
Their work goes to several organizations, including Bread and Beyond, the NDG Depot, and Union United Church.
Some are homeless, some have no jobs, some are refugees, and some people just need the help.
We can rely on them every single Monday morning to kickstart our week for that first delivery.
All year. You know, nothing stops the ladies from doing their goods.
The Ladies of Sandwich have been gathering here for the last 3 years. At about 300 sandwiches a day, they make about $12,000 a year. And with special events, that's close to 40,000 sandwiches and counting. But the ladies don't only make sandwiches. They also collect toiletries, winter clothes, and have bake sales.
They call themselves Ladies of Sandwich, but the ladies of many things, basically, and support in so many different ways.
It's not just sandwiches that we're making, it's about building community.
A community feeling they believe can also spread.
We are hoping that when people see this, that they will look around their community and see what they can do.
Ding, 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 ladies, 420.
It's been a great source of joy, actually. It's a great way to begin Monday mornings.
Caroline Van Vlartigan, CTV News.
Mark Carney has become the first Canadian Prime Minister to attend the European Political Community Summit. The meeting was held in Armenia's capital city of Yerevan, and Carney's leadership was recognized even before he arrived, receiving an invitation to address the European Parliament, which today he accepted. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Graham Richardson is traveling with the Prime Minister and has the latest on Carney's international trip.
Prime Minister, so glad to see you. It's so kind. Very nice.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's first bilateral meeting today with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan.
It's the first time in Armenia.
Carney mentioned the 60,000 Armenian Canadians, the value he places on their presence in Canada. In many ways, Armenia and Canada are in similar positions at this summit. Armenia attempting to pivot away from Russia's economic influence after so many decades. Canada, in a different way, doing the same thing when it comes to the Americans. Both countries speaking more, deepening ties, or at least trying to European countries. Carney and Canada are here as the first ever non-European leaders and delegates to join the European political community. They say the America shift away from the rest of the world is a significant one that they need to adjust for. Late Sunday, Carney met with European officials and the Prime Minister of Poland. This is a very long way to go for a short series of meetings. The leader of the official opposition, Pierre Poilievre, says it's a waste of time.
Now he expects to have gushing media coverage for going on another trip, signing fake MOUs and giving dazzling speeches, all while delivering no real results here at home.
But not everyone sees it that way. Some analysts say in 2026, with the world facing so many challenges, leader to leader, face to face is invaluable.
A leader coming to meet head one-on-one or as a group and all that is just fundamental. That's when you create the links. That's when you can have really long-term bonds.
This summit started back in 2022 with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Tomorrow, Carney will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Obviously, security on the agenda there. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Yerevan, Armenia.
Today is World Press Freedom Day. Prime Minister Mark Carney taking to social media to mark the occasion and reiterate Canada's support for a free and open press. In a post on social media, Carney says journalism empowers us with the truth and protects our democracy. In a world where it's increasingly under threat, Canada continues to support a free and open press, and we are stronger for it. Other leaders, including the Pope, honored journalists killed in war zones and in conflicts. Well, it's a shot at being discovered and maybe even making it to the Olympics. A scouting event in Montreal is opening doors for young athletes. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil reports.
For many, the beep test is something to dread.
Level 7, 8.
Here, athletes are lining up for it. Hundreds took part in this qualifying event where speed, strength, power, and endurance are all put to the test. For some, it could change everything. For bobsleigh athlete Valérie Perrault, it already has.
Olympics has always been my goal.
She was first spotted at a camp just like this one.
I had done basketball for like 13 years, and then bobsleigh reached out. No one approached me when I was at the camps. They sent an email later on, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
In the past 11 years, more than 20,000 athletes have been identified through RBC training ground events. One of them, aerial skier Marion Thénault.
I was a gymnast and I was recruited in freestyle skiing at that moment. That's where a recruiter came to see me. That's how I was introduced to the sport.
With support from the program, she reached the podium at the 2022 Olympics, just 5 years after switching sports. Coaches here are looking for potential, not just polished skill. For some athletes, that builds on what they already do. For others, it opens a door they didn't know existed. Rowing coach Carole Sauvé says that matters.
Rowing is not being offered in schools. So we have basketball, volleyball, soccer, all those sports. So sometimes the young athlete doesn't know about the sport of rowing.
He's recruited dozens over the years and says the talent keeps improving. But for 25-year-old Kirk Nguyen, it's not just about being picked. After a lifetime of doing Taekwondo, he comes in with an open mind and a broader goal.
I think sports is a really great way to merge into health, mental health, physical health.
Thénault says that mindset can make all the difference.
There is no magic recipe. This program is amazing. It gives you an amazing opportunity, but you gotta seize it. You gotta go talk to the people. You gotta go to these camps and give everything you have to let that opportunity flourish into something bigger.
Nearly 300 athletes took part Sunday, and among them could be the next Olympian. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
Taking a look at the forecast, it's currently 12 degrees in Montreal, and we could see some showers tomorrow morning, but temperatures are expected to warm up to 18 degrees in the afternoon with a mix of sun and cloud. You'll likely need your umbrella right through to Thursday, then a mix of sun and cloud should finish up the week. Coming up, new polling suggests the U.S. president is more unpopular than ever before. And what caused the deaths of 3 people on an ocean cruise. A new poll shows U.S. President Donald Trump's disapproval ratings have hit a record high at 62%, the worst of either of his terms. He's underwater on every single issue the poll tested, including the economy and gas prices. Jacqueline Lee reports.
9 weeks into the war with Iran, and oil prices have soared, reaching near 4-year highs. The average price of a gallon of gas hovering around $4.45, up 40 cents in 1 week and up $1.51 since the war began, according to Gas Buddy. A new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll finds 50% of Americans say they expect gas prices will get worse over the next year. Only 21% think they'll get better, and 15% expect them to stay the same.
Now we're dipping into inventories, and so there's a realization that there are shortages, particularly of refined products.
President Trump has insisted oil and gas prices will drop as soon as the war ends and the Strait of Hormuz reopens.
You're going to start to see immediate relief. Once the strait opens and supply flows again, we are going to be in a way better place.
Oil analysts say even if the strait reopened tomorrow, it will take months to get all that gridlock supply back online and more than a year for gas to go back to its pre-war level.
Well, what we usually see is when oil prices go up and gas prices at the pump go up, they go up like a rocket and they fall like a feather.
The poll also found 40% of Americans now say they're worse off financially than when Trump took office, compared to just 17% who say they're better off. Americans now making trade-offs. 44% say they've cut back on driving because of higher gas prices, and 42% say they've dialed back on other household expenses, including groceries, which are more expensive amid these rising fuel costs.
I cut down on groceries a little bit because gas is just more of an expense now. I used to not think about it.
Jet fuel prices also on the rise, nearly doubling since the war began. Bad news, analysts say, for anyone looking to travel this summer. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The U.S. Treasury Secretary says he's confident oil prices will drop once the Iran war officially comes to an end. Scott Bessent making those comments today to Fox News.
This gives me a lot of optimism that oil prices on the other side of this conflict are going to be much lower than they were going in or at the beginning of the year or at any point in 2025.
Bessent's comments come as Donald Trump is reviewing the latest 14-point plan from Iran focused on ending the war. As part of the plan, Iran is calling for the withdrawal of U.S. forces in the region, the lifting of the naval blockade, the release of Iranian assets, and a new control mechanism for the Strait of Hormuz. Along with the back and forth regarding a potential peace deal in Iran, reports say a cargo ship was attacked near the Strait of Hormuz. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center says the ship was attacked by multiple small vessels. The attack is said to have occurred east of the strait. Iran says it controls the strait and that any ships not affiliated with the U.S. and Israel can pass through if they pay a toll. The U.S. also maintains an ongoing blockade of Iranian ports and ships coming out of the strait. Well, the World Health Organization says 3 people have died following a potential outbreak of hantavirus, an illness usually transmitted from rodents to humans. The outbreak is said to have occurred aboard a cruise ship traveling from Argentina to Cape Verde. One person aboard the ship was confirmed to have the virus, according to officials. 5 others are suspected to have the illness. Meanwhile, health officials in South Africa say at least 2 people were killed following an outbreak of a, quote, severe acute respiratory illness. Another person affected is said to have tested positive for hantavirus. Some alarming data on youth radicalization in this country has come to light. Canada's Security and Intelligence Agency says youth as young as 13 years old are being exploited online, and platforms are not doing enough to protect them. Jeremy Sharon reports.
It is a frightening trend and a statistic that is likely to shock many, just not those in the intelligence community.
Is it surprising? No. Is it alarming? Yes.
The Canadian Security and Intelligence Service, CSIS, says a growing number of youth, some as young as 13, are involved in select counter-terrorism investigations. In fact, the agency says nearly 1 in 10 of its terrorism investigations now includes at least one person under the age of 18.
The internet and digital media and the interconnectivity of everything now, it's becoming a target.
Neil Bisson is a former CSIS intelligence officer and says vulnerable and impressionable youth are being targeted online.
Younger and younger people are using or being involved in terrorist-related activity because of what they're seeing, what they're ingesting, and who they're communicating with online.
The CSIS report cites young people's access to ideologically and religiously motivated violent extremism content as a reason for this concerning trend.
You have social media, encrypted messaging, online gaming platforms. These are all platforms that are able to connect directly with kids and be exploited.
This cybersecurity and tech analyst suggests regulatory changes could help, but says the online platforms could be doing more too.
Platforms need to do a lot more. I don't think that they're doing enough when it comes to protecting youth and ensuring that the content on their platform is safe.
The realities of this trend are already becoming clear. Just weeks ago in an Ottawa courtroom, a youth was found guilty of terrorism charges involving Islamic State-inspired plans to attack Jewish people. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
Up next, it comes with very painful side effects.
So as the radiation treatments were progressing, now my skin was very burnt.
A new initiative is helping cancer patients dealing with the after effects of radiation therapy. And the National Assembly resumes sitting this week with a new premier in charge. MNAs will be sitting in the National Assembly this week as the legislature resumes, this time with a new premier. Raphael Melanson joins us now. Always good to see you, Raphael.
Good evening, Angela. Pleasure to be back.
So first, let's talk about Christine Fréchette. Now, in her speech to the CAQ caucus on Friday, she said she's not planning on slowing down her pace. How would you grade her first weeks governing Quebec?
Well, indeed, she can't slow down her pace, actually, Angela, because the clock is ticking already with only 5 weeks left to the legislature in Quebec City. And we see already that Christine Fréchette is very active on the ground and also announcing new measures. Just think, for instance, of no more welcome tax for new home buyers. That's a very good news for many families in the province this year. Tax breaks, also tax reductions for small businesses. That's something also that's very welcome from the business sector. So lots of things have been done already, announced, and I would say we have seen already a major change in tone. You know, the Legault government used to be quite confrontational on some aspects, and this tone has softened. It seems to be more moderate under Christine Fréchette. Think of immigration, for instance, but also just the union. She met with the union leaders this week. They came out of that meeting quite satisfied, saying for once we are hearing from that government a will to collaborate, not just be always in shock together. A change in tone also with the federal government. She has met Mark Carney, and despite the fact that the federal government tried to intervene in the province's field of competence, let's think of the announced training new skilled workers. Well, Christine Fréchette reminded the federal government that this is a field of competence of the province, but she remained very polite. So yet again, not too confrontational. And I would say also a change in tone regarding Montreal specifically, with the announcement of major investments to move forward with the reconstruction of the long-awaited hospital in the east end of Montreal, Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital. Also meeting with the mayor of Montreal. They are both good friends. They've known each other for a long time. And the appointment, I would say also, of two ministers, not just one. We have for nearly 8 years, we've had only one minister in Montreal within the CEQ government. Now we have two, with the addition of Karine Boisvert-Roy as the new housing minister. So a change in tone also for Montreal specifically, whereas this government was not really used to being too keen to listen to Montreal's needs and priorities so far.
So, Raphael, we're almost out of time, but I just want to ask you, how much work do you think can actually get done since there's so little time before the summer break?
Yes, because as we know, the session was prorogued in Quebec City, so all the bills that were under study at the National Assembly are basically dead, so they have to bring them back. And in order to adopt them, they will have only 5 weeks left to the current session, to the new session. So, of course, they will have to prioritize. Some of them will be prioritized. One of them is a bill to allow women to look into the criminal records, the past history of their partners to prevent violence against women. That's a priority for especially the new Vice Premier, Yann Lafrenière, who's also the Public Safety Minister. Another one is the Constitution, the project of a new Constitution of Simon-Jolin Barrette, the Justice Minister. That will be brought back to the National Assembly, despite some people who were expecting it to be basically dead with Jolin Barrette supporting Drainville during the leadership race. This will be brought back with major amendments, including some provisions to protect the rights of the English-speaking community. And the last one will be the protection of two ridings on the island of Montreal and in the region of Gaspésie, because they want to ensure equal representation of those regions. As we know, they were at risk of being wiped out from the electoral map. So the National Assembly will move forward with the adoption of those bills.
It's going to be a lot of interesting things to watch for. Raphael, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure, Angela. See you next time.
Time now for In Case You Missed It. On Friday, Quebec's minimum wage rose to $16.60 an hour. That's up just over 3%, keeping pace with the rate of inflation. But as Matt Gilmore reports, researchers say it's not even close to a living wage.
More than 250,000 Quebec workers will be getting a small bump in pay on Friday. Quebec's Labour Minister says raising the minimum wage 50 cents to $16.60 an hour will protect workers' purchasing power. But researchers say minimum wage workers are already earning well below what they call a living wage, and this increase leaves them even further behind.
It's not possible to get outside of the poverty while working at minimum wage.
Eveline Couturier is with IRIS, the Institute for Socioeconomic Research and Information. She says a living income is enough to afford a modest lifestyle, with food, shelter, and transportation, some savings for emergencies, and the ability to afford some cultural activities.
We try to do a budget of what it means to live outside of poverty. So
in Montreal, that now costs $41,000 for a single person, $56,000 for a single parent and one child, and close to $89,000 a year for a family of 4. And remember, these are expenses equal to earnings after tax.
to afford a living income, they would need to have a salary, a wage of $30 an hour, which is much higher than the minimum wage.
A full-time minimum wage earner's take-home pay is just over $2,100 per month, with almost all of it going to food and housing.
It's not unusual for us to see people who are earning perhaps the current minimum wage already spending about 3/4 of their income on rent.
Average rents are increasing between 4% and 6% this year, while food prices are projected to jump another 6%.
The average family will spend about $1,400 and change per month, basically.
At a certain point, the numbers simply don't add up. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Soccer fans from around the world will soon arrive in Toronto for the World Cup, which kicks off June 6th. In preparation, the city has launched its Keep Toronto Beautiful initiative. Rahim Ladani has the story.
Sweeping pavement and cleaning catch basins. 400 city staff are on the front lines this weekend, targeting public spaces which need some extra care.
Sweeping and filling potholes and making sure the right-of-way is great for people to enjoy the summertime. That's one of our things. We also do sidewalk grinding too, so we want to make everything nice and safe.
Mayor Olivia Chow is also pitching in, painting over a graffiti-filled lamppost at Stanley Park on King Street. This cleaning blitz is in addition to regular maintenance work, beautifying the city before millions of visitors arrive in Toronto.
We have FIFA World Cup coming. We have to keep the city of Toronto clean and beautiful. A clean neighborhood isn't just about how it looks, it's about how it feels, a sense of calm, of safety, of belonging.
During last year's inaugural campaign, more than 2,600 311 service requests were investigated, 1,000 tons of debris removed, and 20 kilometers of pavement markings repainted. This year, 8 locations have been selected and will be tackled from now until October.
We've heard from residents year over year about what makes their parks the place that they want to be, that it's clean, that it's safe, that it's beautiful, and that is the commitment in this campaign.
Residents can identify other locations that need attention by contacting 311 through the mobile app or online. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Coming up, an unusual jailbreak becomes a source of inspiration. A new video game explores the story of capybaras who escaped from a Toronto zoo. Many people are familiar with the harsh side effects of chemotherapy, but the side effects of radiation may not be as well known. Pauline Chan has more on an initiative to help radiation patients.
Tamara Berry was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2020.
My treatment that I underwent was lumpectomy and then radiation.
The treatment made her skin dry and flaky at first, with itching so bad she couldn't sleep.
So as the radiation treatments were progressing, now my skin was very burnt. So not only was my skin completely purple in the area that was being radiated, but the skin was blistering.
Actually, it's the peak side effects happen 2 weeks after they finish the radiation, and most resolve within about a month or so.
Dr. Jeff Kao says fatigue and radiation dermatitis are 2 common side effects of radiation.
Most of our research and the mainstay of our research has always been in trying to prevent cancer from coming back or trying to live longer. But more recent evidence has been focused on symptom control and quality of life.
Bari struggled to find products in Canada to help with the pain and healing of her skin. She found some in Europe, and a friend sent her some soft, soothing cloths.
She said you can also get the calendula flower, and you can soak it and make a tea, keep it in your fridge, and then dip these towelettes in it.
She also reached out to cancer support group Give a Care, where she found they offered chemo relief products, but nothing for radiation. So she did some fundraising.
We hosted a brunch that was called Booby Brunch.
And did some research with Rethink Breast Cancer Canada, and now a new radiation kit is available.
There's a barrier cream to use during treatment that helps with the itching and the flaking and calms your skin, the irritation. And then there's a healing balm to use after the treatment that can help your skin heal.
The radiation kits retail for $70, and you can get them online through giveacare.ca.
And while the majority of patients who would benefit from it are breast cancer patients, others with head and neck cancers and some gastrointestinal cancers also suffer from radiation dermatitis. Proceeds from sales of the kit go to supporting patients and families dealing with breast cancer. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Canadian retailer Giant Tiger is celebrating its 65th anniversary. The discount store held a celebration at its original location in Ottawa. Here's Natalie Van Roy.
A crowd of shoppers celebrating 65 years of Giant Tiger in the Byward Market of Ottawa. The anniversary party highlighting the flagship store in Canada for the discount retailer.
Customers always want to save and they always want an amazing deal. It's always in style.
Shoppers lining up to get a free gift card and treats.
Honestly, I just love Giant Tiger. I'm just looking around and browsing. I got a nice gift card outside in honor of the birthday, the 65th birthday.
Kids taking part in face painting and posing with the company mascot. Ottawa Mayor Mark Sutcliffe presenting a plaque proclaiming May 3rd Giant Tiger Day.
Great local business, a great family business that was started by Gordon Reed. So many people have been coming here over the years, and it's just a great example of a local business success story. So we're very proud of Giant Tiger and everything they've done for the community.
Municipal, provincial, and federal dignitaries here to honor the business. Staff also presenting a check to the Ottawa Art Gallery to show support during the milestone.
While this was the first Giant Tiger location in Canada, the brand has since expanded to more than 250 locations over the years.
For more than 6 decades, this store offering a variety of goods from clothing to home essentials to food.
You can't get a better value for your dollar. It's nice to see a business still has their doors open in this economy today.
We did get the gift. I also got the gift card. We were just more excited to see that a store wanted to reach out to the community.
Staff putting forward a mandate of price matching and discounts.
Well, I feel proud working here, first of all, because this is the first store.
Each store location is locally owned and operated, including right here in the Byward Market. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
Drivers south of Edmonton have been given the green light to go faster on a stretch of highway. Alberta is increasing the speed limit to 120 kilometers an hour. 2 truck operators say this will make their jobs more dangerous. Nahiran Isa reports.
The Alberta government is test driving a new speed limit.
That's why we are increasing the speed limit to 120 kilometers per hour as a pilot project on a section of Highway 2.
As of today, a 22-kilometer stretch of Highway 2 will see a 10-kilometer increase, starting south of the Leduc Government Vehicle Inspection Station.
Now, during the speed pilot, we'll closely monitor traffic flow, driver behavior, and safety outcomes, ensuring that decisions are grounded in real-world data.
The province says in a recent survey, nearly 70% of the 59,000 who responded were in favor of the higher speed limit.
Now, at the end of the day, this is all about respecting Albertans' time.
I don't agree with the government's reasoning that it's going to save time because it's going to cost lives.
This tow truck operator says many in his industry oppose the increase.
With the increase of the speed limit, it's just going to increase the danger level for any tow operators or anybody working roadside. We see near misses all the time.
Don Getzel believes drivers are already too distracted by cell phones and console touchscreens. He wants the province to hit the brakes on this pilot project.
I've seen way too many preventable collisions that I've attended personally where people are hurt, killed, or injured. And it's unfortunate, and I think if we just do a better job of driving, but I don't think the increase in speed is the solution.
The province recently implemented higher fines in an effort to crack down on dangerous driving. The pilot project is expected to last until the end of summer. Naramanisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A couple of capybaras created a buzz throughout the city of Toronto when they escaped from the Toronto Zoo. They were eventually found and returned, but their legacy lives on in a new video game. Corey Baird has the story.
The search is on. 10 years ago, the unlikeliest of jailbreaks catapulted the capybara from obscure South American rodent to Toronto's top news.
Live over High Park, where those two young capybaras are still missing.
In the 30 days it took to capture the cappies, social media exploded with sightings and speculations citywide.
It popped out onto the street here.
It swam directly from the tree right up to where I'm standing now.
We heard that they escaped. It's all gone.
A decade later, they've escaped again. In video game form, that is. You can call off the search parties. Cappy Castaway is the brainchild of indie developer Saffron Aurora. You play as a lost capybara trying to find your way off of a replica of Toronto Island.
I love Toronto, so any way that I can sort of represent where I'm from, I like doing that.
The Queen Street Viaduct, the DVP Rainbow Tunnel, even TTC streetcars among the game's many Toronto Easter eggs.
You can see one of our references over here. This is Nest Fred's. I'm actually going to do this one over here, which is Fran's Diner, if you're familiar with Fran's. We've got a little Timmy's cup, our coffee cup. It's a winning cup! Would you look at that? We do have a few, I would say, Toronto animals celebrity references. Conrad the raccoon makes an appearance. Something I would like to add is the IKEA monkey.
The video game industry is volatile, so success is hardly guaranteed. But there could be gold in these hills. Capybara cafes do big business in Japan, so maybe the world's just been waiting for our own ode to the rodent.
I think the capybara is a friend to all animals. It's very like loaf-shaped and it's very approachable.
Cappy Castaway will be available for download later this year. Corey Baird, CTV News, Toronto.
He received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys, and now Neil Diamond's story is on stage at the Princess of Wales Theatre in Toronto. The actor who plays Diamond in A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, says it was a long process to get where he is. Andrea Case has the story.
Nick Fradiani could have been a teacher standing in front of a room full of students instead of a theater full of patrons. But luckily, at 27, he fully followed his passion, music. Playing legendary singer-songwriter Neil Diamond is a perfect fit for him. From being in a band, stints on reality shows, America's Got Talent, and American Idol. Oh, how did he do?
Nick Fradiani!
That was 2014. It was a long process with legitimate pressure, but it was a risk that paid off.
You can't work. You can't really do anything. You're out there. You don't get paid till really much towards the end. So there's a lot of people that, especially the older, a lot of like the younger kids, I think it's okay, but for me, I remember I was like looking at my bank account, I'm like, I don't know if I could keep staying out here.
Transitioning to theater was a learning process, and the auditions.
And there was all these famous people in these rooms, and you know, going in for the same part, I'm like, what am I doing here? And I went in there, and I sang the songs pretty well, but my acting was just horrific. Or it wasn't even bad, I just couldn't remember the lines. Like my brain, I don't know, I don't think I even wanted to do that at that time. I wasn't ready for that.
Eventually he was. 4 years ago, he stepped into Neil Diamond's sequined outfits, playing the younger Diamond in A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical.
I remember the first time I had it, because I always usually have facial, I actually have to shave for the show tonight, but before I was doing this, I always had a beard, and they were trying on the wigs early, and I looked like a caveman with the long hair and the beard. But once I shaved and I put on the thing, I was like, all right, starting to resemble him, and that's when I was able to do his mannerisms. I think I didn't understand how big he was, especially people younger, like my age and younger, don't know. You have to be like, Sweet Caroline, they're like, oh yeah. And then you see how big he really is. I mean, he has a crazy large fan base all over the country. I mean, all over the world.
He's about to step away from the role, but not before completing this 6-week Toronto engagement.
When we return, setting a new world record for a good cause in the West Island. Taking a final look at the weather, it's currently 12 degrees in Montreal. We're expecting some showers tomorrow morning, but it should stop and warm up to 18 in the afternoon with a mix of sun and cloud. It's going to be a wet week right through to Thursday, then a mix of sun and cloud to cap off the week. In Pointe Claire today, a relay race for the record books and for a good cause. 100 master swimmers swam a continuous relay with every swimmer completing 200 meters. The event is now officially a Guinness World Record, the first for an event like this. It was also a fundraiser for the West Island Association for the Intellectually Disabled.
We also wanted to give back to the community, so we asked all of the participants to donate a minimum of $20 to WIA, which is a non-profit organization. And we're really happy to announce that we had 112 people donate, and we have over $8,000 donated to this amazing community service.
Congrats to everyone who participated in the Guinness World Record. Well, that's it for us. We'll be back at 11:30. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.